Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream tonight. Tonight we got a treat for you. It is Jake Peterson versus Jerem Moore in the Zion's Finest League. Both of these guys are pretty creative players. Jake really likes to play lists that are outside the meta. You can see he's playing his Three Amigos list tonight. He's got Jedi Knight Luke, IG-88, and Onar. Those are his three big powerhouses in this list. On the other side, we have kind of a four anti-amigos, if you will. It's a four powerhouse list, four very strong units. Those four are Darth Vader, who is just a beast, a tank. He hits like a truck. And then we got the ATDP, which is no slouch on offense either. Has some slight mobility problems, but if you have to deal with a threat like Vader, maybe you're going to ignore that ATDP, and maybe that ATDP is going to find a lot of value. You got Thrawn, who may seem like a support unit. He's great at controlling your opponent's deck. He just digs through that deck, discards important cards, and then he actually has a very strong attack. He does have some range problems. He is prone to whiffing. But when his shot connects, he's got Surge for +3 damage. Very, very strong. And then last but not least, you have Palpatine, who is just such a force to be reckoned with, throwing Force Lightnings around. His Emperor ability can get even more value out of the ATDP and Vader. So we are going to see some probably really swinging activations tonight. I'd say that both players have lists that, when they draw their cards, watch out, because Vader has this unshakable combo where if anyone is adjacent to him and moves away, he's going to play Parting Blow to get a big Vader red yellow attack on that figure. He's got a couple ways to set that up. He's got a command card called Dark Energy, which is push a figure one space. So he can use Dark Energy to set that up, and he also has Looking for a Fight, which is another push a figure one space. So watch out for those Vader double attack activations where he can just unleash massive, upwards of 12, 14 damage in an activation. So IG-88 has to be very careful. On the other side, Jake has some swingy combos as well, with Son of Skywalker and Blaze of Glory able to reactivate both Luke or IG-88, depending on which card he gets. Of course, those doors are closed round one, so JK, Jerem, doesn't have to worry about Son of Skywalker or Blaze of Glory coming out yet. So he's able to just push Vader up really far. Now, if he manages to steal initiative somehow round two, he can get a really big activation here with Vader. The doors open first, and then end of round actions happen. So no matter what happens, Vader is going to get an end of round attack against either IG-88 or Luke, or he could even attack R2 if he wants to, but I think that's probably the weakest of the targets. It looks like everyone took 1 damage somehow. I'm not sure exactly how everyone took a damage. But you can also see IG-88 and Luke both also have block tokens from extra armor. I think against Vader, those block tokens might not be as effective because with Pierce 3, he might be able to just pierce through all of them. Then again, Luke has a built-in evade, so that's really good against Vader. And IG-88 has a built-in block, so he might roll upwards of 3 blocks, in which case Pierce 3 won't pierce all of them. So JK does choose to open that door. Now, it's not really an obvious choice. Yes, he would get a end of round attack with Vader if he opens the door. On the other hand, if he keeps that door closed, it actually looks like... it looks like Jake opened his own door. So I think it's pretty obvious for Jake. He wants both IG and Luke to be in some kind of position where they can get some work done round 2. If that door remained closed, then Jake's initiative advantage with Devious Scheme would just be totally wasted. In fact, it looks like Jake's not even holding Devious. He's actually traded out Devious for extra armor in this list. So he's mixed up his list a little bit since Worlds. He used to be running Devious, but now he is running extra armor instead. I actually like that a lot. I think Devious loses a lot of value in the current meta, especially on Ooze-Crew. It's so easy to stall the game until the end of round 2, in which case having Devious hurts you more than it helps you. You really want to use Devious to get a huge end of round 1, start of round 2, big set of activations. But Jake is saying, come at me, bro. He's ready. IG and Luke are prepared to take on this Vader onslaught. And here he comes. JK is probably going to attack... he's probably going to attack IG. There's no chance of a dodge with IG. I think it's just... yep, and he does choose to attack IG. You can see Assassinate is sitting over here. That's the card that Thrawn discarded with his ability. So he doesn't have to worry about Assassinate with IG, so that might be a reason to go for Luke instead. But, man, look at this. 5 blocks on IG-88 with that extra armor block token. So pretty huge there. Then again, Vader showing a max roll. 4, 5, 6, 7 pierce 3. So that's going to be 5 damage, which is pretty respectable for a red end of round attack. And it looks like... Oh, and another thing I missed. JK is running Doubt, which was just able to get rid of a focus token that was on Luke. Focus is worth about 2 damage. Some units use focus better than other units, but in general it's about worth 2 damage. It's really good on figures that have multiple good surges or maybe have trouble getting enough surges to use. It's also really good on figures that need a little extra range or figures that have rerolls. So focus, I'd say Luke is not the best focus target because he does roll a lot of surges already. And he doesn't get to reroll. But yeah, I think Onar is probably a better focus target. But you can see here it doesn't matter because Doubt removes that focus. So it ends up not mattering at all. He could have also removed a block token with Doubt, but of course focus is worth more than block. So Doubt, I think if you remove a focus token, Doubt already is worth 1 point. So Doubt getting its value this game. You can also see Vader has an evade token. Thrawn is able to distribute power tokens 1 times the round number. So he used his first round to distribute an evade token to Vader, which I like a lot. Red or black defense pool with an evade token is just so hard to chew through, especially with a character like Onar who really needs his surges. Okay, and Jake's going to go ahead and use his initiative to activate IG-88, who's going to attack twice, which means Vader is taking 2 strain. The first strain looks like negation. Oh, and not a great defensive roll there, especially since he's already using his evade token. The evade token ends up not even mattering. No surges rolled. Ouch, and that is just a brutal defensive roll there. Rerolls into another evade, so only 1 block showing from Vader. That is just about as bad as you can get. So 6 damage going through, even after that evade tokens get spent. It might not be the worst thing to add a block token to Vader instead of an evade token, because since he is rolling 2 black die, there is a chance that he will roll an evade, and there always is a chance that IG won't roll a surge. And now Tools for the Job coming out to add an extra red die, and again, no surges, and Vader rolled an evade. A better reroll there, but still, the damage is done. And Tough Luck comes out too, so that's going to be 5 more damage. A huge activation from IG-88 there. JK is going to have some hard choices here because Vader is at 11 damage out of 16. He's got 5 health left. If he leaves IG-88 alone, there's a chance that Jake is already holding Blaze of Glory, in which case the game is basically over. Actually, I apologize. I didn't count that damage up right. It's actually 8 damage, so Vader's at 14. It's a good thing Thrawn discarded Assassinator. Vader would just be dead outright right here. Some terrible, terrible defensive rolling there from that Vader. And that's just the way Vader is sometimes. Sometimes Vader just completely whiffs. The choice is pretty obvious that Jake has to activate Vader now. Unfortunately, he can't really get out of range. He could double move away, but Luke could also just double move and follow him and use his heroic attack to maybe do 2 damage. Of course, it's not a guarantee that Luke does 2 damage to Vader in one attack, because with a Zillow tap plus a Zillow discard, Luke's attack is quite weak against Vader. Now Vader is activating. And a dodge rolled by Luke. Man, this could not have gone any worse. It could not have gone any worse for JK with these rolls. First, he completely whiffs on his defensive rolls. Then Jake rolls a dodge. Wow, what a brutal opening. And this game is almost virtually over already. And Jake hasn't even played either of his reactivation cards. But Vader's about to die. This is just brutal. And this is the power of initiative. Such an awkward spot for JK to be in. Because he wants to retreat with Vader, but there's really no place to put him. And Vader is going to play Looking for a Fight and Parting Blow. So at least he's getting some value before he dies. He is going to become stunned, which means he can't move away. And no surges get rolled for Vader, which means he's unable to pierce that 3 blocks. He's going to reroll the yellow. Ooh, and that's a really good roll. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pierce 3. That's just enough to kill IG-88 right outright. That is a huge roll. Now imagine with me for a second that JK had take initiative. If JK had take initiative and Jake couldn't negate it, Vader would have killed IG-88 right there, and Vader would still be at 0 damage. So that initiative was worth 14 damage on Vader. Just a huge, huge, crazy amount of value. And I think a lot of people think that initiative is too strong in this game, and there's really no way around it, because at least with take initiative and negation, there's a way to threaten your opponent. Maybe don't overcommit for those big end of round swings. But yes, the initiative is just so it's such a game-changing mechanic in this game. And there's really no way around it. I think not that there's a Imperial Assault 2.0 in the works, but that would be priority number one for me if I was the one designing Imperial Assault 2.0, would be to fix initiative. There's got to be a way to ensure that a 12-point figure can't open a round and just finish off whatever he wants. Maybe make it some way where you bid for initiative, where you say, I'm going to activate a 3-cost figure or something with initiative. Maybe that would be more fair. But the way it is right now, it's just too swingy. So one thing to note is that the ATDP does have line of sight over top of Vader. Not that it can see anything right now, but Vader does not block line of sight for the ATDP. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with the game, to draw line of sight, you need to draw from one corner of a figure, any corner of a figure, including for massive figures you can draw from this middle corner, to 2 of any corners of any other figures without being obstructed by blocking terrain, which is the solid red lines, or walls, which are the solid black lines, or other figures. But massive figures can draw over top. And what's happening now? Another parting blow combo just got dropped? Did I just miss that? So, how did that happen? I'm not quite sure how Vader got another parting blow combo off, but man, this one's massive. 4, 5, 6, 7, Pierce 3. Oh, both surges got blocked, so it's only going to be 5 damage, but still. Pretty good value coming out from Vader before he dies, and it's very important that he's able to use both of those parting blows before he gets finished off. I'm not quite sure how he was able to use the second one, because you become stunned after you finish off the first one. Let me ask. He should have been stunned. I'm not quite... Oh, so he used his second action to remove the stun. So he attacked, parting blowed, and then removed the stun, and then parting blowed again. What a huge activation from Vader. And again, consider if Vader had initiative and Luke hadn't rolled that dodge, this could be a completely different game. Jake's actually going to play slow and activate the Jawa right now, and he's going to plan. JK only has 3 activations remaining. Now, one thing to think about, JK did have line of sight to Luke before he used Dark Energy Parting Blow. He could have either pushed Luke to the side so the ATDP would still have line of sight, or he could even push him closer. He's worried that Luke's going to come up and hit the ATDP twice, but I'm not sure if Jake wants to do that. I just think pushing him out of line of sight of the ATDP is a mistake. The ATDP does have trouble setting up shots, and he already had one set up. And you can see that by pushing him away, that allowed Jake to slow it down a little activate his R2-D2 and draw a card, and then activate the Jawa to plan. So all of a sudden, Jake is up 3 cards that he otherwise wouldn't have had if Vader had just left Luke here, because that would have forced Luke to activate sooner, or else he would take some ATDP shots. He was probably worried keeping him where he was, because where he was, Luke could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4 and attacked the ATDP twice. But he could have pushed him to this spot right here, where the ATDP still has line of sight, and that way Luke couldn't have just moved and gotten 2 attacks without playing a card. Yep, so it lets Jake slow it down a little bit, which is just what he wants to do. He's probably going to finish Luke off, or Vader off, with Onar if he can. I'm surprised he didn't take a shot with R2, to be honest. It doesn't hurt. So Thrawn forced to go now. He does not have a target. He is going to put a Surge token on himself and an Evade token on the ATDP. So JK doubling down on these Evade tokens, even though they didn't get him any value yet. Still quite possible that'll get some value. Jake does have the option of rushing with Onar to deal 1 damage to Vader. If he does that twice, that would finish Vader off. You know, the other thing about Vader pushing Luke away, it forces it. Palpatine could have come up and used Emperor on Vader to attack Luke again. So pushing Luke away also blocks that option. So I really don't like the pushing Luke away play. Plenty of damage to finish Vader off here. Jake has still not rolled a Surge. Interesting note. He has rolled 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red dice, 3 green dice, and a blue die, and he has not gotten a Surge on any of them. Doubt gets depleted, and Tough Luck gets tossed to keep Vader alive. But Heightened Reflexes also gets thrown down to remove a black die, so that'll kill Vader. And Vader goes down. And Celebration even comes out for 4 more points. Yeah, I really think that pushing Luke away was a big mistake, because keeping him adjacent to Vader would have opened up actions with the ATDP or Palpatine. And now Luke basically can wait till the end of the round. And if Jake's holding Son of Skywalker, Luke can just come down and wreck face. Force Rush or Urgency would also help Luke get an extra attack off. There's just a lot of ways Luke can deal a lot of damage right here. The game's actually pretty even. A Vader got traded for an IG-88. That's not a bad trade. Vader basically got all of his cards out. Both parting blows are on the table. Jake was not able to play Blaze of Glory. So this game is anyone's game. The other thing is, JK is getting initiative in the next round. That's going to be a pretty big deal. The only problem is, Luke is actually pretty good against the ATDP, just because the ATDP has a hard time kind of nailing down targets, and Luke can kind of scurry around and avoid line of sight. He's not as good as maybe a ranged figure would be, but he's still going to be able to squeak in there and deal a ton of damage before the ATDP can completely respond. Another thing about initiative is whoever gets the last activation, I think that's too strong of a mechanic as well. Because especially if you get the last activation and the first activation, it's just crazy. And another dodge for Jake. This is his second dodge in a row. He was aiming for that Jawa there, but I'm not sure if he had the accuracy anyway. He's only showing 4. He does get +3, so that's 7. So that's plenty of accuracy. It's just that dodge keeping him alive. Really a flop of a roll there for the ATDP anyway. Only showing 4 damage would not have been enough to kill the Jawa. Even if he rolled a blank, he can always add a block also, so really a flop. Now Luke gets refocused up, and if Jake has Son of Skywalker, this game is basically over. Palpatine's going to play really conservatively. He's going to use Emperor on the ATDP to take another shot at this Jawa. He could have got a big Force Lightning off, but he feels that playing slow is the better value, and I tend to agree with him. This is a much better roll from the ATDP here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Surge for... Let's check out his surges. Pierce 2 and +1. Oh man, and the Jawa noise coming out. Utini! The Jawa going down. It'll be interesting to see what Jake decides to do here. Right now, JK is controlling 2 objectives. So, Jake might decide to... It really depends. If Jake's holding Son of Skywalker, I'm sure he wants to be aggressive. And he is. Let's see if he brings Luke up or if he just plays a little bit more conservatively. And he is bringing him up. Let's go. Well, the thing about moving Thrawn is then you don't get the card draw. And card draw is very important with Zillow. This is kind of a wonky list because usually you have like an Imperial officer or something sitting back. Man, look at this Luke roll. So much for Jake not having rolled any surges. Now he's rolling way too many. Really weak roll there from Luke, even focused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Pierce 3, and the Pierce is going to get canceled with Zillow. So really 5 Pierce 1. So 5 Pierce 1 for 4 damage. That's really not great. JK only has 1 card he can use for a Zillow block. The ATDP does have a lot of health. It has 16 health. But if it loses if it loses 9 health, it no longer gets +1 damage and it no longer gets a reroll. So keeping it above that threshold is very important. Looks like Jake didn't have Son of Skywalker. I'm guessing he has Take Initiative though, especially because he's drawn almost his whole deck. He's drawn all but 1 card. So Take Initiative still on the table for Jake. One of these cards is Blaze of Glory, probably. Not sure what else is in here. And here comes Take Initiative. Let's see if JK can respond with negation. So many game-changing cards in this game. And looks like take initiative goes through. So Luke's going to be able to go attack this ATDP twice. Or maybe he'll just attack it once and run away. It's hard to say. He's definitely going to attack it at least one time. The nice thing for JK now, if we're going to look on the positive side, is he's guaranteed to get initiative next round. It's actually not a terrible defensive roll to roll an evade there, because he doesn't have to tap Zillow, but it is a lot of damage coming through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pierced. 5 -1, so 4 damage. So without the focus, he does just as much damage as he did with the focus before. So much better roll there from Luke. 4 damage, and the ATDP's fine taking that. Okay, so Luke is going to attack again, which means he is not going to be able to retreat out of line of sight. He could go, I guess he could go over here, but the ATDP can maneuver to see him. So if JK is holding like fleet-footed or some other kind of movement card, that would be pretty huge. A really big roll coming out from Luke right here. 3, 4, 5, 6, pierce 3. So Zillow's going to get tapped, so 6, pierce 1 for 4 more damage. Not enough to kill the ATDP, but definitely enough to force him to react. Now, JK has to expect that Jake is holding Son of Skywalker. What are his options here, really? If he has fleet-footed, that would be pretty massive. He might even be able to finish off Luke. But without fleet-footed, he's got to get some value out of the ATDP before it dies. He could double move it away, but it only has 3 speed. He's not going to be able to get it to a place where it can survive. He's just going to have to move and attack, unfortunately for him. He's going to have to hope that Jake's very bottom card is Son of Skywalker. There is a chance. There's a 1 in 5 chance. But JK's game plan so far has been get as much value as you can out of your big figures before they die, because they're going to die to these amigos. And a blank getting rolled from Luke, that's pretty big. Unfortunately, the ATDP doesn't get a reroll. I would love to reroll that blue die. Right now it's 3, 4, 5 damage. So not as much as it looks like there. He's only got that surge for pierce and surge for +1. Those aren't the greatest surges. And now Luke's going to go ahead and reactivate before he dies. What's Luke do here? He really isn't forced to kill the ATDP if he doesn't want to. All he has to do, honestly, is get out of the way. Because you don't want Palpatine to just force lightning and tempt you to death. Again, JK is guaranteed to get initiative. Let's see, 1, 2, so that's enough to kill the ATDP. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. How much health does the ATDP have? Couldn't he have tossed a card with Zillow? Did I add up wrong? Oh, it only has 15 health. I thought it had 16 health. I'm having trouble finding the card for some reason. Yeah, it only has 15 health, I guess. Yeah, so that ATDP is a dead boy. And Luke still has one more action. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I assume he's going to run away. He had 12. JK could have been tossing cards. I'm not sure what 3 cards he's holding. One of them is probably Thrawn's Foresight card, which is dead right now because Jake only has 1 card left. So he should have tossed that earlier. He should have used a couple of these cards for blocks when he had the opportunity. Might have been able to keep that ATDP alive. Luke is within Force Lightning range, though. Force Lightning has 4 range. So Luke could get tempted and Force Lightninged. Instead, Thrawn's going to go ahead and activate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thrawn does have a shot at Luke. Again, Thrawn has trouble with accuracy. That last card, by the way, Urgency, Thrawn discarding it. So, Jake's deck is gone. 4 cards left in the deck for JK. Thrawn can get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 range shot for Thrawn is pretty difficult. He's going to give himself another Surge token. He's going to give Palpatine probably an Evade token. He's going to give Palpatine a block token, actually. Luke's basically as good as dead. I understand why he's activating Thrawn now, though, because he wants to get Thrawn in position so Palpatine can use Emperor on him. Doubt did block 3 damage and a focus token, but it was in conjunction with Tough Luck. So that's worth about 5 damage blocked, which is about the same as extra armor. 4 block tokens is not necessarily worth 4 health always. 7, 8. Plenty of range there for Thrawn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does Thrawn have 5 speed? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure how he got to here. I was counting that he should have been here. Not totally sure how he got up 1 more. But that is enough to kill Luke, I think. 5. Oh, he's got 2 evades. Onar adds an evade there. Oh, fleet-footed. Honestly, man, fleet-footed should have been used to add a block somewhere. I think fleet-footed here, either that or if you could somehow use it on Palpatine to get into a better position, because right now Palpatine can't really do much. Let's see if he could have used it on Palp 1, and then 1, 2, 3. I don't think he could Force Lightning C-3PO. Maybe if he has Force Rush, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. If he has Force Rush, he could get to 3PO, but it's too late now. He can always tempt Luke to death and use Thrawn to try to kill 3PO. He might as well do that. In fact, he could. Since Jake moved 3PO here, that's kind of a little bit of a mistake. Palpatine theoretically could tempt 3PO, move 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. He could Force Lightning Luke and finish off 3PO and also deal a damage to Onar. So that's now JK's best option. He doesn't even need to use Emperor. Instead, he's just going to finish off Luke and maybe play a little bit more passively. I'm not sure if I like that because, again, he's guaranteed to get initiative back. I'm not sure why he wouldn't, because this is not a guaranteed shot, and you can see he's going to whiff here. If he would have tempted 3PO and Force Lightning to Luke, that would have been a guaranteed kill. Force Lightning is within 4, so he could have gotten there. Yeah. Really kind of a mistake there. And you can even see he's moving out, so it's not like he's protecting himself from Onar. Maybe drop a block token here? Oh, element of surprise. So, is he not using a block or an evade? He should have been using one or the other. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage showing. Plus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 with positioning advantage. So right now, JK actually is within striking distance of winning. If he kills Onar here, oh, that was an attack against Thrawn, actually. Interesting. JK's only 3 points away from winning. If he had killed 3PO there, he would be 1 point away. He's got to figure out a way to... He might just want to run away with Thrawn. I know that JK is going to be tempted to just activate Palpatine first. He actually can move up and attack with Palpatine and attack with Thrawn. If he has Force Rush, he could also Force Lightning. It really doesn't matter if Thrawn dies. It's 3PO should be dead though. I'm a little 3PO should be dead. The game is not over yet. Not over yet. Let's see how JK how he takes advantage of getting the initiative token. He is going to activate Thrawn. What's his play here? Does he just run away? I guess if Thrawn dies, he does lose because Jake can just sit on 2 objectives at the end of the round with 3PO and R2. It's a really big roll there with the double surge for +3, but Onar is able to add an evade to basically block 2 damage. So that's going to be... actually, it's going to block 3 damage. That is a huge evade. So it's just 3 damage going through? That's actually terrible. Does JK have Blitz or something? A card is getting moved around. And you got to move to a spot where you're not within 4 of Onar. I probably would have double moved him onto an objective. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like if he, instead of attacking, he could have put him over here, which forces Onar to run up and try to kill him. And yeah, I don't know. 3PO being alive is actually such a big deal because of the objective. He scored 2 points at the end of the last round, and now he's scoring 2 more. So keeping him alive there is a 4-point swing. Plus, he could always go up and focus Onar or something, so I can't understate how big of a deal that is. If 3PO died, then Thrawn would be kind of inconsequential. So let's see what Jake does now. He doesn't want to activate 3PO yet. Honestly, his play should be activate R2 and sit on a terminal. Or not a terminal, a objective. And that is exactly what he's going to do. Just go run, sit on that objective. Like, that's where R2 needs to be at the end of the game. But again, this does set up a Force Lightning for... Okay, so maybe he's not going to do that. If there was like Force Rush or something, Palpatine could run over and Force Lightning R2 for 3, putting him at 4. And if he's next to C-3PO, he could again kill him with a Tempt. Oh, Jake is taking his time. This seems like the kind of position where it's just a puzzle and there's a clear path to victory for Jake. He's just trying to figure out exactly what it is. He only has 1 card left. Let's see if we can figure out what his last card is. Oh, it's gotta be Blaze of Glory. It just has to be. So, a dead card left in Jake's hand. Meanwhile, 5 cards left for JK. Not sure exactly what they are. He did use both Parting Blows. I'm sure he has some more movement cards. You really need movement cards with Vader, so probably some Brawler type cards. Like, he used Looking for a Fight. He might have Face to Face in there, which... Is that a Brawler card? I'm not sure. Might just be a melee attacker. Jake, what are you doing, man? What's happening? Alright. So, if JK has Force Rush, he could go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, he doesn't even need Force Rush. He could go 1, 2, 3, Force Lightning R2, and tempt 3PO to death. That's not quite enough, though. 6. He needs 6 movement points to get to R2. If he kills R2, he wins. He could go try attacking R2. That's one way to do it. So he's going to pass. And again, he passes, which allows Jake to put 3PO. Oh, you know what R2-D2 did? R2 used Repair. Honestly, I've never seen R2 use that. You or an adjacent friendly droid or vehicle recovers 1. I've been playing R2-D2 lists for so long, and I have never seen him use service before. Is that crazy? I honestly forgot that he had it. Actually, that could have been useful for me in some of my tournaments before. He runs service. That is such a creative and good play. Palpatine can still go 1, 2, Force Lightning 3PO, and move back onto the objectives. Which would mean that JK would live to see another round. He could tempt. What he needs to do, he needs to tempt R2, kill 3PO, and then next round he needs to tempt and kill R2 with Force Lightning. And then he wins. There's no way he's going to be able to hold the double terminals against Onar, because Onar can just rush up to here and attack Thrawn and use Rush to push Palpatine off of the terminals. So that's not really an option. He could just play super conservatively and just sit in the middle here. And then Onar can only push him off 1. Take Initiative is actually still available for JK. I think JK definitely has a path to victory here. Rush is an action, that's true. So he could have just sat on this terminal. And then he is just going to kill R2 or 3PO here. He actually did not need to tempt 3PO in order to kill him. I'm not sure what he's doing. 3PO does take a ping. And what is this, an attack? Oh, he's using Emperor on Thrawn to attack 3PO. And that finishes him off. So that means that Palpatine will have another action. So he could just double move back onto these double objectives. I didn't even think about that. So he only used one action so far. What does he do with his second action? Does he attack Onar? Or does he Force Lightning Onar? Or does he move to get a better spot on the objectives? I think he should move onto the objectives. Onar can't push him twice. So if he just moves right here, Onar can't attack Thrawn. So I think moving again is the right play. He can't block Onar because Rush allows Onar to jump over any space that he's in, so there's really no point in trying to block Onar. He's got a tough choice here. He has one movement point left, and he's got one action left. I think his best play is to sit on the objectives. Hi, babe. You hungry? What you want? I'll be done in a minute. Okay. Love you.
Mark says you're going over, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know time?
We can text him. So he's going to go for the attack, I think, it looks like. I don't think that killing Onar is the way to win this game, but Onar doesn't have any defense left, so this is just going to be 4 damage. Sometimes attacking is maybe the most obvious path to victory, so he is just going to go for that. I'm not sure where he's getting all these movement points from. Because he started here. He started here. And he went 1. Maybe Jake let him take back the move. Because he was here before, so he has 4 movement points or something. Yeah, Onar's going to rush and push Palpatine off the objective. He could have... I'm not sure why he's doing it this way. Oh, because he gets initiative and he can just use it to kill Thrawn. So that's actually the game. Jake wins. Oh man, so Jake is very good at the end game. He took a long pause at one point to figure out the puzzle. And you can see he had a clear plan what he wanted to do there. And I mean, it looked like JK had a path to victory, but maybe he didn't see it. I think that attack against Onar was just very inconsequential. He really had to end on a spot where Onar couldn't push him off of both objectives, and now you could see Onar just going to rush up and finish Thrawn off. Man, is JK not playing... Does he not have take initiative? He must have not drawn it. Yeah, I forgot about take initiative, but it doesn't get played, which means it either didn't get drawn or it's not in his deck. It's a 4-act list, so he doesn't have take. Man, that... Yeah, so he just doesn't have take initiative. Man, what a game, though. That was a really good game. 39-40. Very, very respectable. I mean, Jake did have a lot of dodges. then again, JK was very lucky getting both parting blow combos off before Vader died. I'd say both players had a lot of luck and a lot of good plays. So it was a very good match to watch. I have to sign off now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I honestly think this is the most amount of viewers I've had before, and this is the most amount of people talking in my chat before. So I'm very happy to have all that. I really appreciate you guys. If you like what I'm doing, I'm trying to stick to a schedule now. You can see it right down below. It's going to be messed up this week because I'm getting married this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to stick to it this week. But in the future, I'm trying to stick to this schedule. So if you like what I'm doing, come back and check me out on those days below. If you really like it, you feel free to subscribe. If you have a Amazon Prime subscription, you get 1 free Twitch subscribe per month, and that helps me. It gives me money that I put back into the stream, and it helps me to upgrade my rig and stuff. So I really appreciate all that. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for checking me out. And you guys have a great night. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.